What's up, Rams fans? Or if you're just an NFL closet historian, Elliot Harrison here with Adam Rank, a lifelong Los Angeles
LA Rams fan. Listen, teenage Adam would be very happy to know that Guns N' Roses is reunited and the LA Rams are back.
Guns N' Roses, I heard sound pretty sweet.
They're
We'll get
awesome.
to that on another list. Let's start with the top 10 Rams moments of all time. Los Angeles Rams
LA moments, St. Louis. We're not talking about you.
All right, number 10, let's start with Tom Fears. Tom Fears, a great wide receiver for the 1950s Rams, caught 18 passes in one game. You know who broke the record for catches in the game?
I'm going to say Randy Moss.
Terrell Owens.
Terrell Owens. See, I knew that, but I didn't want to look because I had already cheated. But the one thing, Tom Fears, one of the greatest names of all time.
Yep.
And this was in the 50s when they didn't throw the ball. It's not like a current NFL team where quarterbacks are throwing the ball 50 times a game. That was in the 50s.
One other note, T.O. broke that record in Jerry Rice's last game at Candlestick. Ironic. Number 9, Dan Reeves moves the Rams to Los Angeles in 1946. Adam, I thought this had to be on the list, but what was ironic about it is the Rams actually won a championship in Cleveland.
Yes.
Then he moved the team.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird juxtaposition. Whatever. Whatever, it's just weird.
It's just weird.
How were the people in Cleveland? Like, you've lost 2 teams.
That's right.
They're supposed to be these great fans. You've lost 2 teams.
They lost the Hall of Fame quarterback, Bob Waterfield, but they gained one in Otto Graham of the Browns. All right, number 8, something I'm sure you remember. Flipper Anderson goes for 336 against the Saints, 1989.
And one of the amazing things in this game was that Flipper Anderson was running around and didn't realize the ball was coming to him until he looked up on the big screen, saw that Everett was looking his way, turned around, caught it, and then he went big. This was probably 1989. This Rams team was one of the most underrated teams. Beat San Francisco at home early in the season. Lost a heartbreaker on Monday night, or else things could have been different.
I remember that game. That's the John Taylor 2 90-yard touchdowns. Okay, let's
That's
go
not on the
number
list,
7.
is it?
No, it's not. Henry Eller should be, though. Number 7, Norm Van Brocklin throws for 554 yards in 1951.
Against the New York Yanks, that heated rivalry. And again, this goes back to the thing about how forward-thinking this team was in the 1950s. A record that still stands today. You think of all the great quarterbacks who've played over the last 20 years and all the innovations and all the rules changes and stuff, and it still hasn't been broken.
Norm Van Brocklin, by the way, Hall of Fame as well. Number 6, Eric Dickerson, 248 yards rushing against the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. Still a record.
This might be my favorite moment. That really is one of my favorite moments of all time.
Get him, Ron Fellows.
As an NFL fan, Rams fans had a huge inferiority. Dieter Brock! The Rams had an inferiority complex towards the Cowboys. I was at this game. We were taunting this. I was like 10, and I was taunting these Cowboys fans. We knew the next week we were going to go and lose to the Bears, but it didn't matter. We beat the Cowboys.
You just lied about your age. You were over 10. Okay, number 5. Number 5. This is a really cool one. You and I were talking off camera about this. Woody Strode and Kenny Washington break the color barrier. You might wonder why it's not higher. Number 1, they were not the first African-American players in the history of pro football. There had just been a hiatus. Yes, Fritz Pollard, exactly. And this wasn't as big a moment as Jackie Robinson, but still incredibly significant.
And they were Jackie Robinson's teammates at UCLA, and Kenny Washington was actually a very good baseball player. Some say better than Jackie Robinson.
Love that. Okay, number 4, we're back to Flipper Anderson again. Adam, take it away.
Flipper Anderson was one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL during his era. This game against the Giants was pretty amazing. Going into New York, winning that game, this is an overtime moment. Flipper Anderson just runs up the tunnel. Jim Everett, I feel North Turner,
that's North
right
Turner.
There. Jim Everett never really given his. If he could have played with Dickerson, who knows what could have happened.
That Giants team would win the Super Bowl the next year. Good team. Okay, number 2. Actually, we're on number 3. I'm getting so excited I'm jumping ahead. But you know what? I do get excited when we talk Eric Dickerson because, Adam, I don't think any player has ever had as great a start to his career as Eric Dickerson.
Well, he set the rushing record as a rookie with over 1,800 rushing yards. Then he followed it up with this season, 2,105. And he did it. He finished it in Anaheim Stadium against the Houston Oilers.
Yep.
And my friend was in the restroom with him. How terrible is that to be in the stadium, but he was gone. He missed it.
3,900 yards rushing in 2 seasons. 3,900.
Pretty
insane.
amazing.
Okay, number 2.
Another Cowboy, another win over the Cowboys.
All right, easy.
Watch this. This play right here to Billy Waddy, he's going to run through about 35 Cowboys. I think he runs past Tom Landry, too. Billy Waddy runs into the end zone. Here's the interesting thing. The Rams in Super Bowl 14 are driving to beat the Steelers. They run the same play. Jack Lambert, who saw the tape, jumps in front of it, causes the interception. That was a huge swing right there.
All right, number one top moment. It's got to be a championship because the Rams had lost in 1949 to the Philadelphia Eagles and Steve Van Buren. 1950, they lose to a great Cleveland Browns team on a last-second Luke Rosa field goal. 51. Incredible offense the Rams had in the 50s.
You know what's funny is when I was in high school, me and my buddies would sit there in the Big A, and we would talk about this 1951 championship for hours and hours.
I don't believe
it. Nope, we never did.
I don't believe it.
Beating the Cowboys, that game against the Cowboys in '85, because we beat the Giants and we beat the Cowboys, and you knew we were going to go to Chicago and lose, but you didn't care. You're like, whatever, we beat the Cowboys. I remember, like, because I was a little kid, and I remember, like, this adult male yelling at me, like, how dare you? I'm like, dude, we just beat you 20-0.
All right.
Get out of here.
You see these earpieces we're wearing right here? See, the producer wants me to rap right now, and I'm not doing it because I have to say, that Billy Waddy made me so mad. I was 5 years old. I was wearing my Incredible Hulk underoos. I ran into the kitchen. Ran into the kitchen and cried to my mom that it was going to be Roger Staubach's last game. And you ruined it.
He threw his last pass into
you ruined it.
He threw his last pass to like Tom Rafferty.
It was Rayfield Wright.
Whatever. Listen, the fact that I could name it. Listen, I'm not like you. Okay, I can dive into the Rams history.
Yeah.
The fact that I pulled an old school Cowboys lineman, I think.
It's pretty impressive.
I know. I thought Michael
Jersey's
Brown was on that field too when Eric Dickerson was running. I know that was Tecmo Bowl.
He was.
As a little kid. That was honestly the biggest moment.
Probably every Cowboys football.
Any Rams fan. Beating the Cowboys was a huge. As much as we hated the 49ers, and we really did. And that '89 team, when I talked about it a little bit earlier, that game, that Monday night game, being up, I think it was 24-3, like crushing them.
Yeah.
And it was the day after my 15th birthday. Whatever. It was awful.
They want you to rap. By the way, every Cowboys football card defensive player was a guy doing this to Eric Dickerson that next year. Hey, those are your top 10 LA Rams moments of all time.